Hey everyone, it is late at night and I am Norman. A bit ago, I decided to take a chance on a watch that was so inexpensive, there had to be a catch. And I mean, it looks brilliant, and sure enough, there was a catch. It doesn't work. It did when I first received it. Let me explain. Alright, so here is the watch. And what had happened was I always hunt for watches on eBay, and I decided to give Etsy a try and see what was out there. And I stumbled upon a couple shops from India. So yes, this is from India. And the price on the watches like this one was way too cheap. Something was up. This was like $30 or $40, and as you can see, it looks like it's brand new. It's vintage size. The dial is just amazing looking. The Movado dot is kind of weird, but that red is just gorgeous. And when I received this watch, I decided to put it on the time grapher, and yeah, it was running like over 200 and some seconds fast a day. So I decided I would open up the back and just regulate it down a bit so that it was a little bit more accurate. And I did that, and it stopped working. Now, at first, I'm pretty sure that was my fault. I think I just turned it too far, because if you turn the regulator arm too far, it actually will stop the balance wheel. However, after I moved it back to roughly where it was when I received the watch, it still keeps stopping. So at some point I may open this up and try servicing it or something. Who knows? It would be a great practice watch for that. And the funny thing is, allegedly, this watch was serviced this year. There was a year marker on the inside of the case back, but yeah, it wasn't serviced properly or well, or yeah. But I have this watch on a thin, inexpensive leather strap that I had. The lugs are 18 millimeters, and I love the design of those lugs. You can see how they kind of notch out there and then curve in. It's sad that this watch isn't working because it looks really great. Looking at the case back, it's brushed. This allegedly is a Romer watch, but yeah, it was $40, so I'm really not sure what this thing is, really. I've had the case back open, but I'll have to get some pictures of the movement next time I open it and try and verify what type of movement that is. But the brushing on the case back is really nice. This whole case feels surprisingly solid. It doesn't feel like garbage, which again is shocking given how cheap it was. Alright, let's see if we can get it working at all for this video. So I will wind it up. This is a manually wound watch. And as you can see, the seconds hand is not moving. I'll fill it up some more here. Now, when you're setting it, that is another interesting aspect of this watch. Oh, there goes the seconds hand. It might actually be performing for us tonight. So it'll run for a while, and then an hour later I'll look and it will have stopped. However, when I pick it up, if I twist it really quickly to get the balance wheel going again, it'll resume working for a little while, and once again, later on in the day, it will have stopped. So let's pop this crown out and try setting it. And it doesn't feel good. It gets difficult to turn and then easy to turn. Almost like some gear is just, I don't know, cheaply made, poorly fitted or something. It just doesn't feel smooth at all or pleasant. And the movement doesn't hack. You can see how slow that seconds hand is moving. So it's a very low beat movement. We'll pop this back in. That red looks really cool. The crystal is like brand new, just like the case. At this point, even at that horrible accuracy, if this movement just ran until it was out of power reserve, I feel like this would have been a decent purchase for its price because it looks so great. I would actually wear this thing here and there. It's just a cheap kind of throwaway watch, but it does look brilliant. So for that price, I feel like that wouldn't necessarily be a waste of money. Maybe it only lasts a few years, but you definitely got your money's worth at that point if this movement would just keep on running. As for the specifications on this watch, the case size is 35 millimeters, the case height is 11 millimeters, the lug to lug is 45 millimeters, it has 18 millimeter lugs, the crystal is acrylic, and the movement inside this is not working well. And I have no idea what it actually is. But if for some reason you want to take a chance on a watch like this, just do some searches on Etsy. It's not difficult to track down these shops. They're all over the place. If you just look for vintage watches on Etsy or 35 millimeter men's watch, you'll encounter them. Alright, so let me take off my Seiko Dolce, a watch that is brilliant and works magnificently. And we'll see what this quote Roamer is like when it's on your wrist. Here is the red dial Roamer on my 7-inch wrist. And yeah, look at that red. I absolutely love red dial watches. So after getting this, I've decided that at some point I'm going to track down a brilliant vintage watch with a nice deep red dial like this. Or maybe a contemporary one, if there's one out there in a vintage size and nice and thin. Just classy case. I could go for one of those. Because, yeah, red just looks brilliant. It's sad. It's sad that this watch is not so great because that case is amazing and the dial is amazing. And the crystal is pretty great as well. But yeah, if you took a chance on one of these and ended up with one that actually had a movement that was working and somewhat accurate, I feel like these would actually be kind of cool to have sitting on the shelf and wearing periodically, because they do look brilliant. So there you have it, a watch that I gambled on, and it looks absolutely brilliant. And the upside is, I know that I truly do love red dial watches. I hadn't actually seen one up close and in person and had one on my wrist, so I'm glad I wasted my money on this watch. But yeah, you get what you pay for. There is no free ice cream. Thanks for watching.